Today I will be reviewing The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and this book is about a little kid who he lost his mother when he was little, and so now him and his father are just living by themselves in the coral reef, and his son got lost, and so now his father found a really weird looking friend, and they're trying to find his son, but then his son happens to be in a tank and they're chased by sharks, and I think that is not The Great Gatsby because that is the movie Nemo. Yeah, that's not it. I've got my hands full, I said. Okay, yeah, that's not it. Alright, thank you.
So, I read book Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky, and it talks about a character called Raskolnikov. He actually said, so he's a student, and he's really smart. But he has his own theory, and he's kind of atheist, and he doesn't believe, among all of those people that are really religious, he doesn't really believe in God. But he has his own theory that if other people who became really famous and really great leaders in history, like for example Julius Caesar, he killed somebody who was rich and he became the leader of really big country. Why he cannot do that same thing and become famous among the people in his country and become leader and become rich? So he basically heard that one really old woman that was sometimes she earned her money in a really fraud way somehow, and he kind of heard about it when he goes with his friend to drink. I don't know, he's not really strong character, so it was really interesting how he actually decided to go and take an axe and kill her. And he actually didn't kill only that old woman, he killed her daughter, like Lisabetta. And he did those murders, and he stole some money, but he didn't like steal a lot. He was more focused to run away, and he did somehow run away without being noticed. But after that, he became really sick, and he has his best friend, that's called Razumkin. He's a neutral character in the story, and he wants to help him, but Raskolnikov still has his own way of thinking, and he wants to get away, and nobody knows that he did that murder. And when when he hears somebody talks about it when he's near, that's really interesting part, because on that way he actually people realize that something's wrong about him. And the policeman, I think his name is Federica. Anyways, he ended up and discovered that the policeman told him that he knows that he will give up himself because that's his personality. He also met the Sonia, but he's his friend's daughter, but his friend called Merima, he died. And Sonia was really poor, and she fought to obtain money in many ways that are not really good for a girl as her, and for good like her. And she loved him, and she somehow understood him and his actions. And so basically he got arrested, and they went to Siberia. So they went there because he had to serve his term, that was his punishment. And she went with him, and while he's serving his term, whatever. And I have one quote too. So it says, he was thinking of her He remembered how ceaselessly he had tormented her and harrowed her heart. He remembered her pale, thin little face, but those memories now hardly troubled him. He knew with what infinite love he would now expiate all her sufferings. So he actually loved her back because they're kind of connected souls. I don't know.
The book I'll be reviewing today is not actually Great Gatsby. It's actually Ben-Hur, The Tale of Christ by Lew Wallace. And this book is just talking about a person named Ben-Hur, and he lost his friend Messala a while back, and when his friend Messala came back to Rome, he realized that he's friends with the emperor, but then he wanted to go talk to his friend about it, and so while he was on the rooftop with his sister, he rushes downstairs, but then soon to realize he accidentally let go of a loose tile on the rooftop, and it went down and killed the emperor. And Messala realized that that was Ben-Hur on the rooftop, and so he got the Roman guards to arrest Ben-Hur and his family. And after that, his mother and sister go away to a prison while Ben-Hur goes into a jail-like prison separate from the family. And during that time, he meets a man who was a carpenter, and his name was Jesus of Nazareth. And so this carpenter gave him hope that he can be released, and for once in Ben-Hur's life, he realized that there is a hope, and it's different than how he normally viewed God and everything, because this person was real but no one else saw it. And so after he gets released from prison a few years later, he tries to plot a revenge to take out Messala and find his family and get his family back. And so there's this other dude, and he's hosting a chariot race, and Ben-Hur realizes that Messala is part of that race. So Ben-Hur wants to take revenge, and so he's going to learn how to ride a chariot and beat Messala in his own game. And so he does that, and he crashes Messala's chariot, and Messala gets badly bruised and he's wounded. And so Ben-Hur wins back his family, but then he came to realize that his family suffered from leprosy. But there's nothing he can do about leprosy, because back then leprosy was an incurable disease, and if you had it, everyone hated you, everyone despised you. So he was really afraid to what the people would think about his family. But then he remembered back then in prison, there was a guy who he believed to be the Christ, and so he ventures off to try and find him, and he brought his family with him in hopes that he could revive his family. And so this Jesus character goes and heals his mother and his sister, and they're forever totally grateful for it. And a few years pass, he's following Jesus as he's doing his miracles, as he's fed the 5,000 with loaves of bread and fish, and he sees all these miracles, and he realizes that this could be the Messiah, and this is the person for the hope that they have. And after that, he realized that everyone doesn't see the way he sees Jesus. And so during the crucifixion, he was there and he witnessed Jesus dying for no reason and no good reason at all, because he was the most perfect man that he's ever met, but there was nothing he could do about it. And so the main point of this book is that one man was changed by this other carpenter's life, and it's just a really good story about compassion and about how one man can change an entire another man's life just by saving him from one point to another.
The book I will be reviewing is called Challenger Deep by Neil Schusterman. It's about a young boy named Caden Bosch who is in high school and has schizophrenia. It follows two storylines, one where Caden Bosch is a artist on a pirate ship where there's a talking parrot and a very angry captain, and he's friends with many of the crew members. It's kind of like a dream world. The other half of this story is when he's at home or at school or with his friends, the more real part of the story. His schizophrenia is slowly getting worse as the book goes on. Everything just gets crazier and crazier, and it's getting harder for him to tell what is real and what isn't. And it's a very interesting book, the whole idea of there being two different storylines that intermingle but at the same time don't. It's a very interesting concept, and I think that you would enjoy it.